If you've thought about selling your house, you've probably wondered, what does a listing agent do? Well, today I'm going to talk about that. Welcome to my channel. I'm Kern, the singing Realtor. Welcome home. And this is my channel, Des Moines, Iowa Homes. If you want weekly information about real estate in general and Des Moines specifically, feel free to subscribe. If you're thinking about selling your house and relocating to Des Moines, click in the link below for a free copy of my relocation guide. So what does a listing agent do for sellers? Well, the number one job and the most important thing is price the property. Price it right. This is 80% of selling and marketing a property is the price. It's also the most nebulous part of the job. And why is that? Well, what is a house worth anyway? It's really what a buyer's willing to pay for it. So a listing agent has to use data and research to basically figure out what that number is. This is such an amazing market and I have such an amazing house. It's the best one ever built, and so I can ask whatever I want for it, right? The answer to that is wrong, wrong, wrong! A listing agent that is worth their salt will bring at least 3 to 4 comparable properties to yours that have sold already to show you what the market has done, and they'll also bring you 3 to 4 active, maybe a pending listing or 2 that's currently on the market, because that really tells you what the market is doing now at the time that you are deciding to go on the market. Because let's face it, when you list your house, you're going to be in a competition. A good listing agent should also be able to tell you the numbers of days on market that the various comparable properties spent, to kind of give you an idea just how long you can reasonably and realistically expect your house to be on the market before it gets an offer. Another thing is Absorption Pricing Index. This will basically tell you if it's a seller's market for your price point, balanced market, or buyer's market. So if there's only 2 active listings on the market and 3 went pending in the last month and 4 closed in the last month, that's a seller's market, because it would take less than a month for those 2 active properties to be absorbed by the market when they're selling 3 pending in the last month or 4 that sold in the last month. There's 2 criteria that I personally use when I'm coaching my sellers in terms of to know where we are in relationship to the market. One is if we go 10 showings and no offers, that means we need to take a look at our price. 10 realtors brought 10 families through and nobody wrote us an offer. Oofda, we might be a little high on our price. Or if we go 2 whole weeks with no showings, that's another indicator. And those are basically statistics from the National Association of Realtors. I love using those 2 criteria because it's very clear to me and the sellers where we are in relationship to the market and what we need to be doing with our list price. Pricing a house is kind of like pricing anything else. I like to use this funny milk story. If you've got Hy-Vee that's got milk on sale for like $3.99 a gallon, and then the other grocery store, Fairway let's say, has it for sale for $10.99 a gallon, where are you going to buy your milk? Fairway might get really creative because they're flying the Goodyear blimp saying milk $10.99 a gallon. And you're like, wow, that's some creative marketing, but it's $3.99 at Hy-Vee. I'm just going to head down to Hy-Vee and buy my milk. Or Fairway might get dancing bears or girls in bikinis out on the curbside to say, hey, come on in. We've got milk for sale for $10.99, but it's $3.99 down the street at Hy-Vee. Where are you going to buy your milk? You get the idea. A listing agent could tell the whole world and the whole city about an overpriced listing, but all they're doing is telling buyers, hey, check us out so you can go down the street to the other house and buy that one because it's obviously going to be a better deal. You want to make sure that your listing agent helps you price the house right. The second thing that a listing agent does for you is market the property. Now, again, 80% of marketing a property is price. So when they do their first part of their job, determine the right price to price it right, they're actually doing 80% of the marketing. Because once they have the listing live on the multiple listing service, oftentimes that goes out to hundreds, thousands maybe, of websites out there that buyers are looking. Most listing agents will pay for professional photography. I do, at least. It's very common. Most listing agents will write the property description to kind of make your house sound as best as it possibly can. When the photos catch a buyer's eye, then it's up to the description to be creative, accurate, and descriptive to really get their attention and to fill in some of the questions they may have before scheduling a showing. Who needs professional photography anyway? In this hot seller's market, my house is going to sell without photos, right? That would be no, 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 no. Other marketing techniques that a listing agent might use is a just listed mailer to their database of contacts or to 100 neighbors in a radius around the seller's property. They may door knock around the property, telling neighbors that it's for sale and inviting them to come look at an open house, or just asking them, who do you know that wants to live in the area? Did you know that 83% of people move into an area because they already know someone that lives there? Again, that's National Association of Realtor statistics. Many sellers think that having an open house will sell their house, but I'm going to give you the insider tip. As a real estate professional myself, having open houses is one of the best ways for me to pick up new buyers and sellers, because really only about 8% of buyers that come into a house actually buy that exact house that they saw in the open house. Usually when buyers are calling the listing agent about the property or coming to an open house, they're doing it to eliminate the property, take it off their list. And the third major thing that a listing agent does for you as a seller is they handle the transaction from contract to close. This includes negotiating the price, because if they price it right, you'll get an offer, maybe even multiple offers, depending on what kind of market you're in. In this over-the-top hot sellers market here in May of 2021, sometimes the listing agent's job isn't to market or sell the house as much as it's to help you as the seller know which offer is best. I've had properties where we've had 5 offers. I've written offers and there was like 31 offers on a house up in Grimes. That agent had to seriously organize that data and advise her client as to which ones were the best and which one they were going to accept. So in a crazy hot sellers market that we're in right now, post-pandemic, a lot of the listing agent's job is just to help you know which offer is truly the best offer. The listing agent's brokerage will hold the earnest money in a trust account. That's another responsibility that the listing agent has that they do for you as a seller. They make sure that you fill out all the correct paperwork and seller's disclosures so that you're abiding by local and federal laws. For example, if your house was built prior to 1978, you're going to need a lead-based paint disclosure. You may not know that if you're not in the business or haven't sold a house before. So your listing agent's job is to make sure you're on top of all the disclosures and required paperwork and compliant with local and federal laws. Negotiate the inspection is something else that a listing agent will do for you as a seller. If the buyer asks for you to remedy deficiencies, basically fix things that might be wrong, it's the listing agent's job to advise you what's really most realistic, what they can ask the buyer's agent what's truly important to the buyer if they come with a laundry list of things. They can also put contracts in place up front where the buyer's not nitpicking you and you can just take care of any major health and hazardous items. A listing agent's job is also to coordinate signing your final documents, your transfer documents or your deed package. If there's any affidavits that have to be signed that come up because of clouds on title, those items are also handled by the listing agent. These are kind of the items that, the general public doesn't necessarily know about because it's not always fun, and it's the back end of the transaction to get you from contract to close. I hope today's video was educational and useful for you. If you'd like to subscribe, do so below, ring that bell, give some feedback if you want, make a comment. And like I said, check out the link below if you're relocating to Des Moines and download my free relocation guide. Have a blessed day.